Happy Easter. Yeah, Easter weekend. So we've got a big 3 kilo bone-in pork shoulder from Ginger Pig. I've already got some milk buns on the go, so we'll get those. We'll get those with the pork tomorrow. We're gonna have some pulled pork. So I'm gonna go through the prep now. We're gonna put a rub. We're gonna put a marinade in there. It's gonna go on at about midnight tonight, I reckon. So I'm not going to crutch this, going to let it go through, so I reckon it's probably going to be done sometime around 3-4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Let's wait and see how we go though. So yeah, let's get cracking. I'll talk you through the prep. First thing we're doing is making the injection. It's 400 ml of apple juice, a chicken stock cube, that's what that big lump is floating in there, some honey, some sriracha hot sauce, a little bit of salt, and a couple of tablespoons of red wine vinegar as well. So it's going to bring that to the boil, dissolve the stock cube, and then let it cool down, and that's going to act there as injection. Here is our beast. 3 kilo shoulder, as I said earlier. So you'll see that we still have got the blade bone in here. So that's good news. You can see just the little socket joint there as well. Yeah, we're going to be leaving the bone in. That will just slide out really nicely after the cook. It's also going to help with the cooking process. You'll also see as well, we've got this huge lump of fat here, large bit of skin on the outside too. I'm going to take that off. We don't want all of that there because it's going to stop the smoke penetration. We're not going to be able to get rub onto that. So if we take off a lot of that fat, take off a lot of the skin, then we'll be able to get a good bark, hopefully. I'm not worried about retaining any kind of fat cap because you can just see there's so much fat running through this. Really well marbled, so much fat actually inside the meat, that'll all render down, and that's going to be keeping the meat moist through the cooking process. There's no need to keep too much fat on the top, and we'll just make sure we get rub all over that and make sure we get a decent bark by the end of it. Pork shoulder has now been trimmed. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. Did take a while, but that's I've got most of that rind off now, so that's looking pretty good. Obviously got a huge lump of pig skin here, so if we've got time later we might knock out some scratchings, but we'll see how we get on. So next steps, I'm just going to let the injection cool down a little bit, so that's ready to go in. So yeah, once that's cooled down, we'll inject it, then we'll get the rubs on. In terms of the rubs, so I'm just going to use the leftovers from the last few weeks, so the slightly sweet spare rib rub, and then the dry rub from the Memphis dry rack a few weeks back. So we'll get those on after the injection has gone in. So yeah, we'll wait for that to cool down, and then we'll start getting some flavour in there. Right, got my trusty meat injector. Injection liquid's cooled down a bit, that's ready to go. I did give it a little bit of a taste, I won't lie, it's slightly odd tasting. It's like slightly spicy chicken flavoured apple juice, but yeah, it's meant to be quite good. So we'll see what we go. So I'm going to get the injection on the go every 3 or similar to like when we did the brisket, sort of like imagine like an inch checkerboard on there, square inch checkerboard, and we'll try and inject every inch as we go. So we're finished with the injection. It has actually held on to quite a lot. If we have a look in here, give it a little bit of a poke, you can actually see where it's just still oozing out slightly. There's this little fat pocket down here. You see all of the injection that's just sat in there at the moment. So yeah, it's quite happy with that. It's about, well, there's a fair bit that you can see in the bottom, but it still looks like there's a few 100 ml gone into that. So we'll just pat it down slightly, get a quick dusting of salt on it, and then we'll get the rub on there and get it into the fridge. Right, there we go. Rub's on there nicely now. That's starting to take shape. There's a little bit of a mess that I'm going to have to tidy up a little bit. So yeah, I'll get round to that. So we're going to get this on the chill, and then we'll be back later to light up the smoker. And you know what? We got that lovely bit of skin, so I've just scored it in a bit of a crisscross, scored it pretty heavily. Load of Cornish sea salt on there. Just going to let that dry out, probably for about 45 minutes, an hour. Just crank the oven on as well, then we'll see if we can make some scratchings. And just quickly show you this as well, because this is my the milk dough, the milk bun dough ball. So that's probably pretty ready to go as well. So I better get my arse in gear and get onto that. If you want to see how they work, it's just exactly the same recipe we did in the KFC video a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, scratchings, let's get them sorted. We'll sort the buns out, and then we'll be back later to put the fire on. Nice one. It is now 10:45. Just lit the chimney, so going with the charcoal. the little cocoa shell charcoal briquettes tonight, because they get a little bit of a longer burn time, because I'm going to be leaving it unattended. So I've just got just under a full chimney there. Yeah, no, you probably can't really see that, but about 3/4 of a chimney in the charcoal basket as well. So we'll wait for that to get going, and then we'll see if we can lock in the temp. Well, it's been a bit of a busy night. So there's my half-eaten toad in the hole. The scratchings came up really nicely in the end. Nice and heavily salted, really crispy and crunchy. I'm pretty happy with those. Grill's at 111, so that's perfect. We'll be going on shortly. My Japanese milk buns, I've just got those egg washed. They're about to go into the oven. And then here's the shoulder. So it's taken that rub really nicely. I've just put a little bit of a sprinkling of demerara sugar on it as well, just to help with the bark formation. But yeah, we are pretty much all set and ready to go. Right, we're all set. Pork's at 10 degrees C at the moment. Grill's at 95 and just climbing. I've just put 3 applewood chunks on. I'm going with apple again today, so like slightly sweeter wood, so it's going to complement the pork quite nicely. So yeah, I'm going to stick around to about midnight, put another couple of chunks on then, and then we'll come back in about 7 hours and see how it's looking. Now Saturday morning, it's 11:30, so it's been on for about 12 hours now. Temperature's dropped a bit, just had to go out and take football training, so I've been out for about 2.5 hours. It was on about 108 when I left the grill temps, about 90 now. Pork's at 73. The pork's going up a little bit, but that's just in the stall zone now, so I'm not going to wrap it. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes, but let's go out and have a quick look at it now, and see how it's looking. But still quite a long way to go, and we've hit 12 hours, so it's going to be an interesting one. So come in, let's have a quick look. Just going to start off just by seeing what the state of the fire is. If there's still some embers in there, I might just put on some unlit, see if we can get it going. Otherwise I might have to light a bit more. Oh, a little bit of glow in there. Yeah, it's still pretty hot. I'll put on some unlit and see how we're looking. Just have a quick look at what's going on with our swine. Holy mama, there's a nice little bark form in there. That's looking all right. So, yeah. That is a lovely bark forming on there at the moment. That's that. I think that might be the sugar we sprinkled on. Water pan's looking okay. Yeah, we'll put on some unlit. Goodness knows how many it could be. It could be another 2, 3, 4 hours. Might be 6 or 7. Let's see how we go. But yeah, I'll check back in later when there's something worth reporting back. It's 8:15 Saturday night. So it is coming up to 15 minutes, and it will have been in there for 21 hours. Grill's at 105, so the grill's all right. Pork's at 82. We've got about 6C to go. It's going to have to rest for an hour when it comes off. Yeah, I mean, I've had to restock the fuel a lot today. I'm never going to use that charcoal again. It's the first time I've done a really long cook like this with it. It's meant to be restaurant grade lump, but the bag's smashed up a bit because I got it mail order. So there's a lesson there. I'm never doing that again. Got to get in there and feel it, because the small bits have just burnt quick and fast, and I've probably gone through at least over half of a big bag. I'll check the weight on it next time I'm out there, but the irony is I could have probably flown to Memphis and back and got some pork, and probably ironically waited for COVID to be over by the time it's done. But yeah, lesson in there. I've heard good stuff about London Log Company. I'm going to get their lump next time, because yeah, this is just too small, too bitty. I think I've probably had to refuel about 6 times, which I've never had to do. Like 15-hour cooks, probably twice tops, but yeah, never have I had to refuel this many times, and it's just not an economical use of fuel at all, so I'm never using that again. But hey ho, we live and learn. So yeah, the fire's been built up again, just pushing it back up towards 110C now, get it over the edge, and I reckon hopefully it should be eating before it hits 24 hours, but as I said, you live and learn. Anyway, we'll be back later to see how it's getting on. I forgot to mention, as I am so hungry, I'm just going to get stuck into these scratchings. These have turned out very nicely. Nice little bit of crispy on top. Nice little bit of fat on the bottom. Let's have a... Yeah. They are good. And while we're at it, this Michela New England Pale Ale as well, I'll definitely be getting that again. I can highly recommend it. Anyway, back to the scratchings and back to the pork weight. Okay, we have finally made it. 88C in the pork. It is 10:10. 22.5 hours, let the hour rest begin. I'll pull it off and then we'll have a quick look at it and then I'll wrap it up and we'll start resting it. Okay, pretty happy with this. That is just totally full off the bone. Have a look at this, it's just coming away. Just completely sliding off that bone and coming away clean. Right, I'm gonna get this wrapped up. I'm gonna eat in an hour's time. Looks very good. Happy, very happy. All right, it is game time. So we've gone all Dexter on its ass. Here we go. So we're just gonna, oh my days, look at that bark. It is off the scale. Gonna keep all the bits of bark actually. Christ, that's still hot. I want to keep all the nice bits of bark off to the side because they're going to be worth investing in. This is pulling beautifully. God, it's still so hot. Whew. You can see where this, you can see the smoke ring there. Really nice smoke penetration. Pulling apart perfectly. This is a good one. Oh God, that is hot. I'm burning myself. Right, let's leave it there. I'll finish pulling it and then I gotta eat. I'm so hungry. So here's our bone. That has come off lovely, nice and clean. Got a lot of meat off that. A lot of smoke ring, a lot of bark. Got the Japanese milk buns ready as well. They're looking good. Gonna get these loaded up, bit of barbecue sauce, and we're in business. Okay, there we go, the final thing. Got a few lattice fries. That's been nicely sauced. Gonna try a little bit. Some of my subscribers have been critiquing me for not trying the food live on camera, so let's give this a go. If the Lord wasn't rising tomorrow morning, anyway, he just has. That is beautiful. Right, I didn't want to be having dinner at 11:30 at night. I put on the pork basically this time yesterday, but it was worth it. Nice one. Happy Easter. Like, share, subscribe, etc. See you later, guys.